Hello and welcome to my channel, Interactive Jordy. This is Jordy speaking. As my official first video, I'd like to introduce the series I'll be calling Bad Fanfiction Readings. Like the name suggests, I'll be reading aloud from various works of fiction produced by people all over the internet. I'll be using the word bad loosely as I cover works that feature excessive grammar and spelling mistakes, unusual settings and plots, and occasionally something I actually find to be, well, good. Overall, I just thought this would be a fun idea, and I hope someone else will get some entertainment from it too. Before I get started, I will let you read a disclaimer about today's fic, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you were to look up the definition of fanfiction in the dictionary, it would read, fiction written by a fan of and featuring characters from a particular TV series, movie, etc. In most cases, fanfiction is written about fictional characters from fictional stories, but there's also an abundance of fics written about real people. Sometimes they're about celebrities like Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, or they might feature popular internet personalities such as PewDiePie. Fics featuring real people are usually controversial, and understandably, it's seen as inherently creepy to be writing your own fictional version of another person. That also makes them some of the most entertaining to read, in my opinion. Today's bad fanfiction, titled The Long and Winding Road, features two musicians you should recognize, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. It is short, only one chapter long, with 1,392 words that describes an interesting scenario involving the two. The Long and Winding Road is actually the sixth story in a 51-part series of short fics that all take place within the daily lives of the Beatles and occasionally individuals surrounding them, with heavy themes of omarashi, which I learned is a Japanese word describing the, quote, persistent sexual arousal toward a full bladder. I mean, we've all heard of it. It's the classic tale of the talented British pop stars who couldn't stop peeing their pants. So great that they wrote 50 other versions of it. The entire series totals over 80,000 words and is credited to two authors, Anon6285_Omo and Mr_Fahrenheit on archiveofourown.org. Now that we kind of have an idea of what we're getting in for, get comfortable to hear the tale of The Long and Winding Road. Paul closed his eyes, rubbing his temples. Not only was the road they were on giving him a headache, but it was making him feel pretty nauseous. He had told John that he wasn't feeling good, but John had only told him they'd be home by 6. It was 11, and he wasn't really feeling like sitting down for 7 more hours. And to top all of it off, he had to piss too. The road they were on would turn every once in a while, and he noticed that John wouldn't slow down on any of them, and they all jostled his bladder a little bit. But he didn't tell John. He knew John would only mock him, so he kept his mouth shut. But before too long, his eyes snapped open because he felt a leak escape him. He started to wriggle in his seat. "Hey, Johnny." John didn't seem to hear him, the radio up all the way. Paul reaches out and turned it down. John looked over angrily. What was that for? Paul could tell that he was in a bad mood, and that really worried him. I've got to take a leak." "Lovely." John reached out and turned the volume back up, and Paul could feel tears stinging his eyes. But he didn't want to keep talking about it. John would stop for him eventually. He had to. So he focused his attention on the radio and not the curving road or the fullness of his bladder. He sang along quietly with it, glad that it gave him something to do. But eventually, the squirming around his seat didn't work anymore. He had to reach down and grab himself, and that's when John noticed him. I really love how the author has portrayed John as to be, like, so dismissive the way he is, because I feel like they really stayed true to character on that. Paul, on the other hand, I feel like he would have stood up for himself sooner than this, but we'll see. He turned off the radio and laughed. Oh my god, Paul. "Shut up, I told you I had to go like an hour ago and you still haven't stopped." John looked back at the road. Never said I would. See, that's exactly what I meant when I said it's very in character for John. Paul groaned, but John still didn't look over at him. "Could you please stop somewhere? I can't wait very long." I don't really want to. Maybe later. Paul felt a tear roll down his cheek. Was John really being so rude to him that he wouldn't even stop? Why was he in such a bad mood? John turned the music back up and Paul turned his face away from him to cry. He allowed himself to cry loudly because of the radio, and he squirmed a bit more and squeezed himself a bit harder. More leaks came out of him, but he couldn't let himself piss in the car, so he willed the urge away. The fact that this is happening to the Beatles, of all famous musicians that you want to make pee their pants, like, it's just, I'm so confused. I think it's a little better when you imagine that it's the cartoon animated versions of the Beatles and not, like, the real ones. Anyways, let's get a move on. Another few minutes went by before he started to shake and could feel more and more leaks coming out. John looked over at him and saw this and turned the radio off once again, revealing the sobbing of his friend. Paul immediately quieted, pulling his hand away from his crotch. The loss in pressure caused more leaks, and he could feel his wet underwear getting even wetter, covering his face so he couldn't see the spot on his pants. Oh God, Maka, I'm so sorry. I'll stop somewhere. Just wait a few more minutes, yeah? John, I don't think I can wait. I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I tried to fucking tell you, but you wouldn't listen. John sped up the car and started to look for a place to stop. I don't see anywhere to stop! Paul could feel the dam break and a hard, fast stream of piss shoot out of him. This time, it wouldn't stop. John, fucking pull over! Oh my God, it's coming out! John, holy shit! This dialogue is so... Every single sentence has like 2 exclamation points at the end. John was quick to pull the car off to the side, throwing Paul forward in his seat. The motion forced the rest of his pent-up urine into the seat, and he refused to get up out of seat. Paul, get out of the damn car and go piss. Are you really fucking pissing yourself in here? God, how am I supposed to clean this? Christ, Paul! Paul covered his face in shame before getting out, piss dripping down his legs. He didn't say anything, but started to walk the opposite way down the road. John groaned. Oh, God. He turned around the road after leaning over to close the door and snuck up on Paul, rolling the window down. Paul, I'm sorry. Please get back in the car. When he got nothing in response, he kept talking. Maka, what if someone recognizes you? Leave me the fuck alone. I don't care if someone else sees me. All I was worried about was that my friend would think less of me for it. I at least expected you to find a place to stop, but you don't even fucking care. It's your fault. Go the fuck away. Ooh, ouch. I mean, he had it coming, but... Damn, Paul. John only watched as he left the roadway and disappeared into a neighborhood. He covered his face, trying to find a way off the road. Paul got to a house and knocked on the door. It swung open and a lady opened it. Her eyes widened. Are you? He nodded miserably. Could I use your phone? I really need to call somebody. Yeah, of course, come on in. Then she saw his pants. Oh, do you want something to wear? He shook his head. No, it's fine. Where's the phone? She led him to the phone on the wall. Thanks. He dialed a number and put it up to his ear. George? Hey, I'm at this house and I need you to pick me up. Yeah, everything's fine. Yes, I'm safe. I'll have her give you the address. And, bring some towels. I don't know where he went. No, I left him. Stop freaking out. I'm sure he's fine. Why would he be worried about me? Look, I don't want to talk about it. Just please stop asking. Paul handed the phone to the lady, who gave the address and directions to her house before hanging up. Is everything all right? Yes, everything's fine. Something happened and I need a friend to pick me up. George Harrison. The entire dialogue leading up to this point is so vague and serves really no purpose other than that now we know George is coming to pick Paul up. Also, this lady just saying George Harrison, like, yes, thank you, we got it. Paul has to admit that it was a little bit weird that everybody knew him and the rest of the Beatles, but he shrugged it off. Yeah, Joe. Hope he'll be here soon. There was a knock at the door. The lady went to go get it while Paul hid in the closet. "Have you seen Paul McCartney by any chance?" came a familiar voice. Imagine being this woman and two of the Beatles show up to your house. Like, here's a POV. Piss-soaked Paul McCartney comes scampering to your door like a little rodent and begs you for cheese and phone privileges. Following after is John Lennon, who had instantly sensed the presence of his soiled band member. Like, what would you even do? "Paul, John Lennon is here for you." Paul left the closet and made his way to the door. "You're an ass, Lennon. You can fucking go home. George will be here soon." "Paul, I just can't leave you here. Please come back out to the car. George already called the car phone to see what was going on, and I told him you'd come home with me." "I don't want to ride with you." "I said sorry, and I really mean it. Please come out here." The lady turned back to him. "You'll be safer with him than me, Mr. McCartney." What the hell is that supposed to mean? "Fine," he rolled his eyes. "You fucking ass." Then he smiled and turned back to the lady. "Thank you so much for letting me use your phone." "No problem. Bye." The two of them left, and Paul sat in the back seat. "That was dangerous what you did, Paul. Everybody knows us. You can't go off to random houses and knocking on doors. And she's probably going to start saying things to people. Everyone will know." "I don't care if everyone knows. They're not my friends. You are. And you knew. And you fucking ridiculed me and made me feel like it was my own damn fault. You just don't do that to people, John. That's a horrible way to make people feel." It was quiet on the way back, and Paul left the car not so much as giving a shit about the front seat when they arrived. George already had clothes and a towel ready for him, and Paul could feel tears coming on when he saw it. At least he knew George would never care about it. If only John could feel the same. Alright, so that was The Long and Winding Road. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you go and check out the series, the 51-part series, and read any of the other parts of it, they're probably going to have the same formula. I kind of skimmed a few of them, and they all seemed to be about the same thing, so. If you liked this video, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you back for my next one. Until then,